Alright guys, 6 or 7 days ago we started a batch of Elderberry wine, and every day for the last 6 days, as per the instructions, I took the lid off. I stirred it very gently, put the lid back on, and now we're ready for the second step in winemaking. We'll remove the airlock, take off the lid. This is the second step is racking it from a primary fermenting bucket into a secondary carboy. And I've got one here that's clean and sanitized. Take the lid off. Okay, set that right here. Oh, it smells good. It smells really good. In order to do this, we're going to need our racking can, which you've seen me use in my beer bottling video. And all we do is start the siphon. I'll pan the camera down so you guys can see what it looks like. And there it goes. You want to get the hose all the way down to the bottom. Try and keep all the splashing around to a minimum. At this stage in the process, we don't want to introduce any more oxygen to the mix than we really have to. And I want this to end up as a 5-gallon batch. So my starting volume was really closer to 23 liters, which is just slightly more than 5 gallons. Because we're going to lose some when we rack it this time. And the third step of winemaking is you have to sterilize it, and then you have to rack it from this carboy back into the bucket, and well, we'll lose a little bit there as well. I don't know if you guys can see exactly how red that is. I mean, it looks like we're doing a blood transfusion here. One thing I'd like to say is this is even though I've been making wine for about 3 years now, this is my first batch of wine that's made from juice other than store-bought. I've made apple wine, cherry wine, peach wine, grape wine, all from store-bought juice with wonderful results. Alright, maybe I'll do a video on that for you guys at some time. But this is the Vintner's Harvest Juice Concentrate Wine Kit. It was 96 ounces of concentrate. It was produced and manufactured with the sole result of end fermentation in mind. I've added all the chemicals as per the instructions, so I'm hoping it turns out really good. After it's racked into this carboy, I'm going to leave it alone to sit and finish fermentation. I have no idea how long that's going to take. It could be as little as 3 weeks. Might take as many as 8 weeks. The only ones that know for sure are the yeast that's currently in the must. As soon as that's done, we add a chemical called potassium metabisulfite in the form of Camden tablets to kill off the yeast and sterilize it. And then we'll have to rack it from this carboy back into the clean and sanitized primary fermenting bucket to degas it. So anyway, however long it takes to ferment out, once we move on to step 3, I'll get that on video for you guys too. And this process takes forever. I have a racking cane. I don't know what the diameter is, but as you can see, it doesn't move fluids very quickly. There's something you can get on the internet called a super siphon. It's got one of those little shaker attachments on it. You just stick the hose in the bucket and you shake it, and I think it'll move like 2 or 3 gallons in a minute. You should really think about picking one of those up. Try and shorten this down. But getting back to the different steps in winemaking, this is step 2. The only thing we have to do with the must today is take it out of the bucket and put it in the carboy. Now you want to be careful and leave as much sediment behind as possible. The yeast, the only yeast that's actually doing any good is the yeast that's in suspension. That's actually floating around in the must that we're transferring right now. All the trub or the trube on the bottom of the bucket, it's really out of play at this point. Think of it as I don't know, yeast shit. The yeast eats the sugar. It produces carbon dioxide gas. It produces alcohol, and after it's gone through its life cycle, it dies and settles out at the bottom of the bucket. Now I'm going to raise this up a little bit because it's about time for me to get over to the bucket just to make sure that we don't get any sediment. Now the one thing that I'm pretty sure, hold on. Sorry guys, this isn't one of my better videos. I'm sure I'm going to have a shitload of editing to do. Alright, now one of the things I haven't shown you guys is on the end of this little piece right here, there's a cap. Now the cap's about yay big. And that's an anti-sediment cap. It allows you to put it in the trub at the bottom of the bucket, but not actually suck any of it into your carboy or into your other bucket. And we're just about done. A little bit more to go yet. Exciting, isn't it? So, what are you doing today? Mighty nice weather we're having. Very, very carefully tilt the bucket. You don't want to disturb any of the trouble on the bottom. It'll start getting sucked up into the racking cane, and we'll probably just end up having to do this again in a day or two. Okay. Very carefully so you don't make a mess. Take the hose out. Okay, we'll move this out of the way. And there we have it. Our must. It smells so good. I want to try some of it now. So we need an airlock. Alright. This is a different airlock than the one that was in the bucket. It's been cleaned and sanitized, as well as this drilled rubber stopper, but it doesn't really fit into the stopper very well unless you get it wet. So we'll just tighten that down, and we need a little water. Now there's a scribe or a score mark on the inside of this airlock, and you fill the water up to that point, snap the lid on top. Okay, now I'm going to set this someplace where it's between 70 and 80 degrees. It doesn't have to be covered with a blanket or kept in a dark spot. It just has to be kept out of direct sunlight, because unlike the fermenting bucket that you can see through, this is clear, and the ultraviolet rays will tend to kill off the yeast. And well, that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching the video. Add comments down below if you want. If you like it, thumbs up, and stay tuned for part 3. Alright, take care. Have a good day.